And while one southern New Mexico town put us on the global map for UFO lore, it's not the only town with a tale from another world. All right, stop me if you've heard this story.
It's the late 1940s in rural New Mexico. A flying saucer allegedly crashes. The military is dispatched to recover the debris, and a cover-up of the incident ensues.
We're not talking about the Roswell incident. We're talking about its lesser-known cousin.
The Aztec story really begins in 1948, and immediately, of course, it was a huge thing, right? They had, police, military, top scientists around the world came to examine this thing. The saucer itself was 99.99 feet in diameter. Not 100, mind you, but 99.99. And they found 16 alien bodies between 3.5 feet tall. But here's the weird thing, is the clothing was indestructible. So it wouldn't burn, it wouldn't tear, it was this sort of weird material. That's the Aztec UFO crash story in a nutshell.
The incident has been widely regarded as a hoax staged by two traveling salesmen, Silas Newton and Leo Gebauer. They took their story to journalist Frank Scully, whose namesake would eventually go on to inspire the character of Dana Scully on The X-Files.
Frank Scully was a writer for Variety in Hollywood, and he heard about this amazing UFO crash from Silas Newton, and he wanted to tell the world about it.
Newton and Gebauer had other motives in sharing their story, however. The men were attempting to sell a device known as a doodlebug, purported to find oil, gas, and gold, because it was manufactured with alien technology recovered from the Aztec crash.
They went around saying, this is based on technology from Venus. Venusian technology, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, this is not cheap Chinese stuff, this is Venus. Right.
The two men were arrested by the FBI in 1952 and ultimately convicted of fraud in 1965. Throughout the years, however, a number of players in the saga kept turning up to stir the pot. In the 1970s, author Leonard Stringfield came out stating that not only was the incident real, but the craft was captured and stored by the U.S. military, possibly at the infamous Hangar 18 at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio.
Then there's the Guy Hodel memo, the 50-year-old document which resurfaced online in 2011.
This is a memo dated March 22nd, 1950, and to the director of the FBI, then J. Edgar Hoover, and it was from Agent Hodel, Guy Hodel. And the subject is very intriguing. Flying saucers, information concerning. Who would not want to read that? Well, it's partly redacted, but it says, investigator for the Air Force stated that 3 so-called flying saucers had been recovered in New Mexico. They were described as being circular in shape with ray centers approximately 50 feet in diameter. That's actually not accurate. Whatever. Each one was occupied by 3 bodies of human shape but only 3 feet tall, dressed in metallic cloth of a very fine texture. According to Mr. Blank informant, the saucer was found in New Mexico due to the fact the government has a very high-powered radar setup in that area, and is believed the radar interferes with the controlling mechanisms of the saucers. No further evaluation was attempted concerning the above.
The memo never actually mentions Aztec by name, and many originally thought the document was proof positive of the Roswell incident.
It's really fascinating if you look at the story from a folkloric point of view, and you see how these stories, little elements appear and they come and go in different places. And that's exactly what happened here.
The alleged hoax was an act of opportunity, with Newton and Gebauer capitalizing on the buzz of UFOs sweeping the post-war American psyche. And in many ways, Aztec was only possible because of the buzz generated 1 year earlier in Roswell.
I think there is something otherworldly about New Mexico. Our landscape is alien-esque, certainly is to people who didn't grow up around here. If I told you the flying saucer crashed outside of Boston or Atlanta, no one would believe that. It's like, come on, right? But there's something about the New Mexican landscape, the culture and the geography, that people are like, yeah, that could happen.
The debate as to what happened in Aztec continues. A number of books have been written over the years exploring the theory that there was no hoax, and we invite you to continue the investigation for yourselves.